Good morning and welcome to our show, Let's Talk. I am your host, Maria. Today we have a very interesting question for our discussion. Is learning about other cultures important? This is a topic that many people think about often. Does understanding different ways of life help us in our daily lives? Or is it just a nice hobby for our free time? We have two wonderful students with us today to share their different views on this. First, let me introduce Leo. Leo loves to travel and believes learning about other cultures is very important. Welcome to the show, Leo.
Hello, Maria. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And we also have Chloe with us. Chloe is very active in her local community. She thinks it is more important for us to focus on our own culture first. Welcome, Chloe.
Hi, Maria. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. I'm happy you both could join us. Let's start our conversation. Leo, let's begin with you. Can you tell us why you think learning about other cultures is so important?
Yes, of course, Maria. I'd be happy to. For me, learning about other cultures is one of the most important things we can do in our lives. It's not just about seeing new and exciting places when you travel. It's really about understanding people on a deeper level. Last year, my family and I went on a trip to Thailand. Before we went, I decided to read a little about Thai culture because I was very curious. I learned that in Thailand, people don't touch each other's head. This is because they believe the head is a special sacred part of the body. I also learned the word sawasdi, which is how you say hello and goodbye. When I was in Thailand, I remembered to use this knowledge. People were so friendly and warm to me and my family. They always smiled a big smile when I said sawasdi to them. I also tried their food, like pad thai, and a sweet dish called mango sticky rice. The food was so different from the food I eat at home, but it was absolutely delicious. One day, I had the chance to talk to a monk in a beautiful temple. He was a very kind and peaceful man. He told me about his life and about Buddhism. This whole experience really changed me as a person. I learned that even if we look different, we're all very similar. We have different clothes, we eat different food, and we speak different languages. But we're all people, and we all want to be happy and feel safe. Learning about another culture helped me make new friends in a country far away. It made me feel like I'm a part of a big global family. It also made me think about my own culture and my own home. I started to see what's special about my own country and my own traditions. It really opens your mind. And it also opens your heart. So, yes, I believe it's very, very important for everyone to do.
Thank you, Leo. That's a very personal and interesting story. Your trip to Thailand sounds like it was a wonderful experience. Now, Chloe, let's hear from you. What are your thoughts on this topic? I know you have a different view from Leo.
Yes, I do. I understand what Leo's saying, and it sounds like he had a wonderful trip. It's always nice to learn about new places and new people, but I think the word important is a very strong word. We need to ask ourselves, is it more important than our schoolwork? Is it more important than our families or helping people in our local community? For me, I don't think so. I think other things are more important. I spend my free time here, in my own town. I help at the local library on the weekends. I read stories to young children. I see many children who need help with their reading and writing. I think helping them is a very important thing to do. I also help my grandmother a lot. She lives near us. She has so many stories about our town when it was small and about our family's past. This is our culture. These are our roots. I think it's very important to know our own stories first. If we don't know our own culture well, how can we really understand another one? Also, Leo talks about traveling to other countries. Traveling is very expensive. It costs a lot of money. Many people, including my family, don't have the money to fly to Thailand or other countries. It feels like something that only rich people can do. We can read books or watch videos about other places, but it's not the same as being there. I believe we should focus our time and energy on what's near us. We need to get good grades in school to find a good job in the future. We need to help our community be a strong and safe place to live. These things are more important for our daily lives. Learning about other cultures is a nice hobby, but it's not essential.
Thank you, Chloe. You bring up some very practical and important points. You talk about the importance of our local community and our responsibilities at home. Leo, Chloe says we should focus on helping people here in our own town first. What do you think about that idea?
I think helping our local community is very important. I completely agree with Chloe on that. I help my parents with chores, and I'm part of a school club that cleans our local park, but I don't think it's a choice between one or the other. We don't have to choose. I believe we can do both things. We can help our community and learn about the world. In fact, I think learning about other cultures can actually help our local community. For example, in my city, there are many people from many different countries. There's a family from India who lives on my street. They moved here 2 years ago. Before, I didn't talk to them very much. I was a little shy. But after my trip, I became more curious about other people and places. So I said hello and asked them about their culture in India. They were so happy to talk about it. They told me about a festival called Diwali. Diwali is the festival of lights, and it's very important to them. They decorate their house with lights and share special sweets with their friends and family. It was so interesting to learn about. Now, we're good friends. They're part of my local community too. They're my neighbors. By understanding their culture, I made my own community a better and friendlier place.
That's a great point, Leo. It shows how the world is right here in our own neighborhoods. Chloe, what do you think about that? Leo says we don't need to travel far. We can learn from the people who live in our own town.
That's true. There are people from other places in my town, and I'm always friendly to them, but I don't have a lot of extra time. My schedule is very full. I have a lot of homework every night. My classes are difficult. I also have my volunteer work at the library, and I have my family responsibilities. Learning about Diwali is nice, but will it help me pass my math test next week? Will it help me get a good job when I finish school? I need to focus on the skills that are necessary for my future. For example, learning computer skills is very important for almost all jobs today. I think that's a more practical use of my time.
So you're worried about the practical value of this knowledge. That's a common concern. Leo, Chloe feels that learning about culture is not a practical skill for a future job. What's your response to that? Can it be useful for work?
I think it's a very practical skill. It's one of the most practical skills. Maybe it doesn't help you solve a math problem directly, that's true, but it helps you with life skills, which are important for every job. For example, many companies today work with people from all over the world. They have customers in different countries, or they have offices in different places. If you understand that a person from Japan is maybe more quiet and listens more, that's helpful. Or if you know that a person from Brazil is often more expressive and uses more gestures, that's also helpful. This knowledge can help you work together better with different people. It helps you to communicate clearly and avoid misunderstandings or problems. This is a very valuable skill for any company. It can definitely help you get a better job and be more successful in your career. It shows that you're open-minded and can work well with different kinds of people.
I can see your point, but I'm not planning to work for a big international company. My dream is to be an accountant and work here, in my town. My clients will be local people and small, local businesses. So for me, I think being very good with numbers is more important than knowing about other countries.
I understand that, but maybe a local person you work with is married to someone from another country, or maybe a new business from another country decides to open an office in your town. The world is becoming more connected every single day. We can't escape it. Even in a small town, you'll meet people with different backgrounds. Knowing about other cultures is like having an extra tool in your toolbox. It can only help you.
That's an interesting thought, that the world is connected even in our local towns. Chloe, does that change your view at all? The idea that it's an extra tool?
It gives me something new to think about. I didn't see it that way before. I still believe that my school subjects and my grades are my main priority, but maybe understanding people is a skill, like Leo says, a soft skill.
And what about personal growth? Outside of jobs and school, does it have value there?
Personal growth is important, of course, but there are many ways to grow. I grow by reading books from great authors from my own country. I also learn a lot from the stories my grandmother tells me about the past. That helps me understand who I am and where I come from. That's also growth.
That's definitely growth, and it's very important. I agree with you. But learning about other cultures gives a different kind of personal growth. It challenges your own ideas about what's normal or right. For example, think about the idea of time. In my culture, being on time is very important. If you're 5 minutes late, it can be rude. But I learned that in some other cultures, time is more relaxed. Being a little late is not a big problem. Understanding this doesn't mean I'll be late, but it can make me more patient and less angry if someone from that culture is late to a party. It helps you see the world from a different person's eyes.
That's a very clear example, Leo. It's about perspective. Chloe, have you ever had a small misunderstanding with someone that was maybe because of a cultural difference?
That's a good question. Let me think for a moment. Yes, actually. Last year, a new student came to our school from South Korea. When I tried to talk to her, she didn't look at me in the eyes. At first, I thought she wasn't friendly, or maybe she didn't like me. But later, my teacher explained that in her culture, it's sometimes a sign of respect to not look directly at people, especially older people, or people you just met. I felt bad that I thought she was unfriendly. It was just a difference.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of what I mean. These small things happen all the time, in school, at work, and with our neighbors. Learning about cultures helps us to avoid these small problems and to be kinder to each other.
Okay, I see that now. My experience with the new student shows that you're right. Maybe I can learn in small ways. It doesn't have to be a big trip. I like to cook with my mother. It's something we enjoy doing together. Maybe we can try to cook a dish from another country one weekend and read about that country online. That doesn't take too much time away from my studies.
It sounds like you're both finding some common ground. This is a wonderful discussion. You've both shared such thoughtful ideas. Let's finish with some final thoughts. Leo, can you give us your closing statement?
Yes. I believe that learning about other cultures is essential for everyone in the modern world. It's not just a hobby for people with a lot of money or time. It helps us grow as people. It teaches us important values, like respect, empathy, and understanding. And you don't need to be rich or travel to far places to do it. You can learn from your neighbors, from books, from trying new food, and from watching movies. It makes our world and our own personal lives much more colorful and interesting. It's a skill that helps us make friends, and it's also very useful for our future careers in a connected world. I encourage everyone to stay curious and keep learning.
Thank you, Leo. A very powerful message. And Chloe, what are your final thoughts on the topic?
I still think that we must build a strong foundation in our own culture and our education first. It's important to be practical and to focus on our main goals for the future. But this conversation has been very helpful for me. I learned a lot today. I agree that we don't need to travel to learn about the world. And I see now that learning about other people can be a useful skill for communication in all parts of life. Maybe it's not about choosing one thing over another thing. Maybe it's about finding a good balance that works for you. I'll continue to focus on my studies and my community work, because that's important to me. But I'll also try to be more open to learning about the world in small ways, like with cooking.
Thank you both, Leo and Chloe, for a fantastic and very respectful discussion today. You've shown us that this topic is not simple, and that there are many different ways to look at it. Finding a balance seems to be a very wise conclusion. That's all the time we have for Let's Talk this week. Join us again next week for another interesting conversation. Goodbye.